fight, baby, I don't wanna taste blood. I know it's coming even when she doesn't say much. There's nothing left, so it's really gonna save us. We'll have a couple drinks and act like we don't hate us.
Yo, she even said it for us, recording in progress. That's crazy. I mean, welcome back to the Full Perspective. Ed, what episode is this? 13? This
Lucky
gotta be
13.
13. I think it's lucky 13.
And y'all been doing your thing.
Yes, sir. And we got the boy Monty Xon. We're gonna keep him as Monty Xon or Monty, recording artist. He's out in LA. That's why we're over Zoom first. A little Zoom podcast we're doing. What is it?
We'll see how it goes.
Yeah, we'll see how it goes. I think I'm looking pretty clean. Ed's got some cool camera action going. Like, look at that. That's next level. You know, Monty's always looking good, dude. He's got the hair fluffed up for us today. So I'm pumped about this episode. I love talking to Monty, dude. It's always a good time talking to him, especially diving in to his background and his like everything. This is just like an intro. I don't even know where to begin because we can go way. This is the intro, because we could go way back. It's even like when one of our guests, Matthew Campos, bro. He was at a show with me, and I remember Monty performing, and Campos walked up to Monty after he performed. This was way back, and was like, "Dude, you're pretty good. Like, you should keep going."
I remember that. Yeah, that was like Mellow Heights show in the Middle East.
Yeah, that was like
2015, 16,
something like that. 16, 17 in there.
A long time ago.
And like that's like the web here. But yeah.
Fast forward now, fucking playing festivals and like.
Yeah, no, it's a wild ride. But dude, welcome to the podcast. I'm excited. First Zoom one, so let's get it. I mean, I think where we should start. Let's start way back. Let's talk about childhood. Let's talk about childhood first. Like who Monty Xon is, Massachusetts boy, where he grew up, all that. I want to hear that first, and then we'll start diving in deeper.
Okay. Well, for starters, as y'all know, and for the people that are watching this that don't know, I was like a baseball head. Like my life was not music, it was sports. And then I had Tommy John surgery at 16, got told, I'm not going to be able to play ball again, blah, 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 blah. Music becomes a thing. I grew up in Weymouth, born at South Shore Hospital, bounced around a lot. I went from Weymouth, Hanover to Middleborough. I lived in Brockton before I moved out to California. So I've been all over the place. Sure, life's been crazy. And every day has just been like, ever since moving out here, every day has been pretty much a movie.
Yeah. Why don't we just give the people a little bit more insight of what you do now, and then we'll jump back in, because I know, bro, signed artist, boy's a big boy out here. You know what I mean?
We're working, piece by piece.
Yes, sir.
Now, yeah, I'm a full-time musician, living in LA. I'm signed to We Are Triumphant. I live with my manager, Greg Long. I also live with Johnny Rago. He manages Pierce the Veil and Chase Atlantic. And then my other roommate, Nico. I'm in a house surrounded of people of music. It's crazy. And it's giving me
drop.
Oh, it's
crazy.
Okay.
I know, I'm saying it's crazy. Like that's just like Pierce the Veil, Chase Atlantic. Like you're around these people when you wake up. You know what I'm saying? Like
for sure. Yeah, it's been a blessing to be able to do all these things, and to come from where I came from in Boston. Like life wasn't like that. Like I go to a party now and like, you're drinking and smoking with people that are A-list celebrities, and like in Boston, that's not a thing. Like it's just not a thing, and there's so much opportunity out here. And like if you're hungry and you're motivated and you're driven, you have no excuse to fail out here, I feel like. And I've been given all these different platforms to continue to, get bigger and bigger and bigger and progress as a person. So yeah, dude, I feel very grateful and I feel very blessed to be in the position that I am, especially coming from like my home life before.
Yeah. Not
Monty, so Dretta was telling me earlier a little bit about yourself, but for those who don't know, you said you're a full-time musician. Like, saw some accolades at me. Like, paint a picture for me and like other people listening. Like, who are you with? Are you signed? Like, where are you at? You know.
Yeah, so right now I'm currently signed to We Are Triumphant. Shout out my manager Greg Long. He's responsible for Neck Deep, Point North, Traders. As we all know, Neck Deep is like one of the biggest pop punk bands in the entire world. I mean, and now I'm his next prodigy, which is like, it's crazy.
crazy.
I feel very grateful.
Crazy.
I signed back in October of last year. I came out to California to a Palm Springs retreat with them, and that's kind of where the ball started rolling. And then I moved out here. I live in West Hills, which is like 10 or 15 minutes away from Calabasas and like 30 minutes from Hollywood. It's been crazy, man. I'm just, I'm out here doing everything I can to not only help myself, but like, coming out of Massachusetts where there's not really a staple in the music industry, right? And like no one's putting Mass on the map. There's definitely something to be said about that. And if things are done right and you play your cards right, I think I could change that.
Absolutely.
You sound very grateful to be in the position that you're in. You've said that like multiple times, and I can just like I can just see it in you. Like, do you wake up every day and you're just like, I am like grateful, blessed to be here? Like, run me through that.
You have to be, because I would wake up in Boston every day hating my life, right? And just not wanting to be there. And there's so many kids, right, that are going to work a job that they don't want to work. They're waking up at the crack of dawn to go out and make a paycheck, to pay the same bill, to do the same boring, like, it's just rinse, repeat, wash, recycle. It's the same thing. And I personally, the fact that I don't have to do that anymore, it's crazy, bro. It's like, it's surreal as hell. Like, I wake up, I'm in California, it's like coming from Boston, it's a mind fuck.
Yeah. Yo.
Well, Jetta, I got one more thing before you hop in. I don't want to interrupt you.
You said so much good shit, dude.
Yeah. Hold your thought real quick, because I don't want to stomp over this. Monty knows, like, we're both baseball guys back in the day, and I'm well aware of what Tommy John is, right? One of my favorite music artists is Mike Stud, who I don't know if you know or not, had TJ shut down his career. He kind of said he went through sort of like a dark phase during that time where baseball was all he knew. Like, didn't really know what to do after baseball. When you had TJ, was there like clear-cut path with music up until that point, or was music something that you picked up after you got hurt and was like, yo, I can't play baseball, I got to figure out what I want to do? Gotcha. So on and so forth.
Yeah. Well, as you know, there were some friends that I had at Middleborough High. I won't name drop any people, but we all kind of started making music, and I fell in love with the idea of production. At the time, I wasn't really recording myself, but this is while I was playing. Then after I, had the Tommy John surgery, and I obviously wasn't going to be able to continue with baseball, I went into like 6 months of my life was just like a mess. Like, I got on drugs. I had to go to rehab. It was not good because I didn't know what else to do. I mean, I felt like a lost puppy. That's honestly, like my whole life, all I knew was baseball. Wake up, go to AAU, this, you know what I mean? And for everything to just change at the snap of a finger was very crazy. And it was a very big transition because, like, again, you go from working out every day and doing all these things to become the best baseball player you can. And now I'm doing it for something else.
Yeah. So I know that feeling. Yeah.
It was very weird. But again, I think everything happens for a reason. I think it's cool because with my like, baseball is great, right? But I'm not able to help other people with baseball. Like, my music, I can put out a song and then I'll get messages on Instagram from kids that are like, damn, bro, I woke up today feeling like I wanted to kill myself. like literally on the verge of suicide, and like they listen to some song of mine, and like boom, clarity, or it just
Yeah.
helps you get through the day, or it makes the drive to work a little bit better.
I
So
think Dred has said that too about his
Yeah.
music before. Yeah.
Yeah, I got one
I
of
mean,
those
that's what's
messages.
so great about it. So
Yeah.
I think everything happens for a reason. I obviously miss baseball, of course, but you know,
No, absolutely, bro. I just kind of, for myself, and I think other people listening, kind of wanted to get an image of kind of where you were at in that transitional period, because it sounds like that was a pretty big time in your life. So
for sure.
appreciate you telling me about that. And like, that's a hell of a transition you made, bro, being where you're at now, and then what you were saying back then, bro. Like, applaud to you, bro.
For sure. I mean, hey, this is coming from the Middleborough High baseball superstar himself.
Oh, thanks.
That's facts, bro. That's
That
facts.
is facts.
That's
100%
facts.
facts.
Now I'll toot his horn, bro. That's
I
facts.
remember when I was in high school and
Oh, here we go. Here
I
we
was
go.
Nah, Eddie, shut
something
up.
out.
Shut up, man.
No, we have to talk about it. This is juicy.
Yeah, let's hear this. Let's hear this.
So I remember when I was in high school, uh shit. I don't remember the principal's name, but I was hanging out with the wrong group of kids, and the principal took me to you and was like, you need to like listen to Eddie, and like you like walk me through the gym and like all these things. So it's very crazy how like everything kind of goes full
Yeah.
circle.
Was I helpful, or was I like?
No, you were, because at the time, like everyone in school knew that like you were gonna do something in baseball, or you were most likely to succeed in the sport. You know what I mean? Like there was no, I'm not, there was nobody else that went to that school that was playing at the level that you were, that could be to the next level. There just wasn't.
I appreciate that, bro.
Bro, that
And
was a
and I'm glad I helped you too. Like, cause
For sure.
obviously, like, homie recognize homie. Like,
Yep.
but that was what was that? 8 years ago. God only knows what I said back then. So
I think I was probably like 15 years old or something.
yeah, it's
I don't
crazy,
know.
bro.
dude,
Crazy.
So yeah, dude,
yeah.
everything goes full circle, and now look,
Fucking
Look
awesome.
where
we're
we're
all
at right
just
now.
sitting here chopping
We're
it
just
up.
kicking it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Just having a convo.
All right,
Dude,
Jed. I interrupted your ass, so go ahead.
no, that was good. That was a crazy full circle though. I'm not gonna lie, that might be one of the craziest full circles in a while. You know what I mean? Like how me and Monty kind of met, and like Ed, and then bring it all back. Like,
Yeah,
and
no, for
you got
sure.
brought up to
Small
Ed
world,
like
bro.
way back then. Like that's like, kind of like a crazy full circle. And somehow through all this, like we met like the same type of people. It's actually wild.
Hey, real recognize real though. Real people hang out with real people. That's all you got to
Facts.
know.
That's a
That's a
fact.
fact.
100%.
Yeah, quote that. Put that shit on the wall right now.
For sure.
No, I was gonna bring it back when Ed said you have a lot of gratitude, right? And he said he could see it, but you can also not only see it, like you feel it, like when he speaks. You know what I mean? Because
Sure.
you can tell that Monty's been in places that are very low, or like positions where not a lot of people make it out of.
Yeah, for
Um,
sure.
so when like I hear him speak like that, it's like I feel good. Like it kind of like lights up the room a little bit, because it's like someone who prevailed through something. And we have a lot of that on this podcast, is people who go through a lot of shit and somehow they make it through, and they didn't sink to the bottom of the sea type shit. So I was wondering if you could kind of get more into some low points in your life, just to kind of start it out. You don't have to go too crazy, whatever you're comfortable with, obviously.
I mean,
But
I'm an open book, bro. It's what you want
I
to know.
know you're an open book, bro. But nah, I
Well,
just wanted you to get to a couple, like, points in your life where you weren't doing too good, and how you kind of overcame them, and how they helped you to where you are now, I guess.
for sure. I mean, well, the biggest struggle that I had, um, becoming and transitioning into adulthood for me was honestly when I got addicted to Xanax at the age of 16. It was like it was really hard. I mean, my parents, like I love my parents to death. But sometimes there's not a book on how to be a parent, right? There's like you can't walk into a store and just get a book that says you need to do this, and this to be the perfect parent, right? So like no, nobody was perfect by any means. And like my situation wasn't always the best, but I was always given love, right? I was always given love by my parents. Um, food on the table, clothes on my back. Um, DCF being in the picture at a very young age and having home visits and all these other things, right? Like a lot of that, it was very hard to go through at the time. But looking back at all these things now, it's like what built me. And I feel like I have a better head on my shoulders than a lot of other people. Like I can really get in tune with like why my brain is thinking this and like why I feel this way, or it's a very different thing. But at the end of the day, I'm very grateful that all that like everything happens for a reason, like I said, and it built me. It built Monty Xon or Logan. So
yes.
it's very
was that addiction a result of the surgery that you had? Like, were they did they give that to you surgery wise, and then or
close.
And you don't have to answer that question.
No. Again, I'm an open book. So what happened was my dad was already kind of very heavily into oxycodone, and he was very addicted to opioids, period. But when I got prescribed oxycodone for my surgery for pain, like I think that because of the way that my genes are, and just our brain is very similar to our parents.
Yeah.
And both of my parents had addicted personalities. So like when I picked something up, I didn't realize the damage it was causing. And even though I was doing it all the time, I didn't see the flaws I didn't see the problem. And then it became a problem, like an actual problem where it was like ruining my day-to-day life, or I wouldn't get out of bed. It was ruining relationships I had with people. So yeah, honestly, most of it stemmed from a doctor prescribing a 16-year-old kid oxycodone. And that's half the biggest problem in this country, bro. It's like opioids are crazy. And a lot of the time kids do them and they're like hooked.
Yeah. I've known people that have had athletic related surgeries, and they've adamantly said, I don't want this, and the doctor will just like give it to them anyways. Like it's I'm not calling out doctors, I'm not gonna name like anybody, but like it's just I mean, that's a big problem. I think everybody knows that's a big problem too, but your case is personal, right? I mean, from the sound of it, that's sounds like it had a little bit to do with what you went through,
Yeah, I mean, I guess quote unquote childhood trauma definitely like made it easier to just pick something up, because I was like, who gives a fuck type thing. I'm just gonna have fun.
Yeah.
But that was the wrong mindset for me to be in. And once I was like clear headed again and I got out of rehab, everything was great. I mean, I got my shit together, got back on track. I finished high school. It was a crazy ride. And drug addiction is definitely no joke, but you can come out of it stronger than you were before if you put yourself into like the right mentality, for sure.
Yeah. I kind of asked like a crazy question. It's not really too crazy. It's more like, I feel like it's really good for a listener to hear this, or maybe anyone who's had like a family member or knows somebody who's been through this. How good of a program was rehab for you? Like, do you remember times where it's like, yes, like I needed that 100% at that moment?
Towards the end, when I let it help me, for sure. But in the beginning, it's almost like therapy, right? Like if you go to a counselor, it's only going to help you if you want it to help you, right? So you have to let the facility do its job, and you have to let rehab do its rehab, And if you refuse it, then you're just not going to get better. So it really comes down to like perseverance and just getting yourself in that headspace of, I'm going to do this. I'm going to come out of this. I'm going to make it. And I'm going to be the success story of my family. That was it for me anyway. None of my family went to college, yet alone my mom and dad didn't even graduate high school, bro. So like for me to even do that was big. And then like for me to do what I'm doing now, like in a few years, if I can look at my mom and be like, Ma, here's $20 million and you never have to worry about money again, then I did my job.
Crazy. That is just amazing.
Yeah.
Bro. Amazing.
How
That's
much
the
of the music that you make now talk about that? Like,
um
I guess you're,
the life
yeah,
stuff. Believe it or not, I've kind of kept a lot of it like disclosed for now because I do want to tell the story that of my life, but I want to wait until like my numbers are bigger, I have a bigger following, because I want people to hear it. And if I'm making all these songs now and then I drop them, they're just not going to get the love that they need, right? Like I don't want to
yeah,
drop and if it's sitting on Spotify with like I want 100 million streams, not 2 million, like once I hit my first million, I like didn't give a fuck. I was
yeah,
hungry for more. I was like, I want 10, I want 100. And it's just like you just get hungry and hungry and hungrier.
Yeah.
So it's kind of like that, where it's just like I don't want to tell the story until it's the perfect time and I have the most amount of people listening and tuning in.
Yeah. And you're also writing Monty Xon's story right now. Like you're writing your own story currently.
We
So
all
you
are.
have you have tons of time for that chapter to come up. You know what
For
I mean?
sure.
When the time's right, the time's right. And I think we all know when that is. So
are you gonna put that in a album, like the Monty story, and just like let it
the
all
Monty
let it all
story.
go?
Eventually, for sure. Like there will be when I drop like my first like big studio album, it would probably more, on the lines of my life instead of like now I write more songs that are like more marketable to the general public, and I try to write about girls or like just things I know that are gonna click and are relatable. But it will definitely come a time where it's like time to tell my story for sure.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
What's the most
Um,
amount of streams that you've had, just out of curiosity, on like, I
Of
guess any platform? Or like, brag to me a little bit about like some of your
all right.
some like your
like
songs, like
overall,
honestly, like I don't know.
Overall,
Well,
overall,
maybe
or
I don't
like
know. Do you know that?
specific? Because
yeah,
Spotify
no.
is different, Apple Music's different.
On
Well,
Spotify, I have about like, but if you equate all my songs, it's about 6 million. Then if you add up like Apple Music, there's another mill on there. YouTube, I probably have like 40 million views on YouTube because I've had a ton of YouTubers that will post my songs in videos.
Oh yeah.
And I mean, you get 30 seconds of the intro of like, Tommy Craze on YouTube was 2.5 million subscribers. And he put like my song in 4 intro videos. Songs were just blowing up overnight.
that's what I
So
wanted to hear. That's what I wanted everybody to hear right there.
it's
Facts.
crazy.
Start throwing millies around.
It's definitely crazy. But like I don't even like a million now is like fuck a million, bro. I want 100 million. Like, because if you're doing it, there's so much money to be made, and I want to buy my mom a car. I want to do all these things, man. I want to like give back to my family and
Yeah.
do all these cool things.
Vicious.
So where does the music start then? Like what was the beginning of the start of Monty Xon?
Well, I've been playing guitar since like I was a little kid. I've been a drummer since 4 years old. But honestly, music didn't start until I met this group of friends in high school. That's where music really started for me. Because I didn't know that I could like buy a mic and record at home and make my own beats. Like I had no idea. So when I found this out, I was like, bro, I'm never leaving my house. I'm staying right here. And like you were kind of on the same type of time too. Like,
Yeah.
but low key, what people don't know is that you, my friend, were the first one out of all of us doing this shit. Like you were like the person that started it. Like I remember I was in high school and I was like 15 years old, and me and my Mr. Nestor, we were sitting there and we were just jamming to your song. Like it was the Bloodshot tape.
Yeah.
But that was like the first EP release, and we
Yeah.
were at the launch table. So it's crazy. Like you started it. You were the first one on the wave.
Thank
I
you,
was
bro.
just I jumped on the ship.
Yeah, I might have started something, but like you're the one making it into something, all right? So
Hey,
don't give
bro.
me too much credit.
It's it's crazy. Music's a beautiful thing, bro.
It is.
It brings people together, and like, yo, if y'all are listening, I need every single one of you to go stream Mr. Alex's music right now. Right now. Don't even go stream my music. Just stream.
It's my boy. And I mean,
Alex is a
dude,
savage.
even yeah, but you know what's crazy when he says that shit? Like, it means a lot to me. But at the same time, like when I was in my spot, like making more like the pop, like like the pop, like rap shit. And like I was in love with that, like so in love, so deeply in tune with the culture and everything. And then Monty was like, dude, come over
Bro,
to this side a little bit. And I was
it's
like, I started dabbling like more into like the punk because you know, my backstory, dude, huge, grew up on grunge, grew up on rock, grew up on all that shit. And he's the one who made me transition over to more of that side. So you want to talk about
now,
a billion full circles? That's just crazy.
hey, no, at the end of the day, though, like you saying that, like, dude, it's the coolest thing in the world for me. For like, when I started doing rock music, bro, MGK hadn't even released a rock song yet,
Yeah.
right? Like, I was doing it before like this new wave started, and I was trying to start the wave, and I unfortunately couldn't. But like, I had friends that, you know, we all grew up listening to Dookie and Green Day, Blink 182, all these just, you know, very mainstream pop punk bands or songs. It was only a matter of a time before like it went full circle and we all started making it again. You know,
Yeah.
I feel like I was just like the gateway for people to understand. Like, I don't have to just make auto-tuney hip hop
Yeah.
Travis Scott bullshit. You know, like that's what, and I hate to say it like that, but music in 2016 was very like everybody was kind of chasing this same sound. Like, other than yourself, you were always doing your own thing, but like there were so many kids that were just trying to take pieces of all these different artists, right? Instead of like going in, just like do you know, like
Yeah.
you don't have to create music that's like everybody else. You just make what you want to make, and you know, at the end of the day, what is real is going to go the farthest. You know, like you were saying, like real people hang out with real people. It's the same thing. Like, real music will prosper and it will strive.
That is said perfectly. Like, there's so many times, dude, where I remember, like, yo, if this motherfucker could just switch over like that and make a fucking punk song, why can't I go do something like that? Why can't I translate and make it
You
into
did.
do
You got
my
you got
thing?
so many songs, bro. That's the crazy
And then
part.
I was like, dude, he is onto something. And he was already good before switching over. You know what I mean? And he just brought that realism for who he was already over. And I think what you touched on when you're like being real, like making art but remaining yourself, that's so important. And that also translates into the real world. Like, remaining yourself at all points of your life is so important. No one wants to hang out with a stunt double of some other person, right? Like, no one wants to hang out with clones. People like people for who they are, right? And that's what I think is important, even taking that out of what you just said and putting it into like a real life perspective and not just art. It's like, dude, just be yourself. The people who like you are gonna be your real friends. The real
Exactly.
you,
Yeah.
the real people around
There's a
you.
lot of people that will put up a facade or this little front in
Yeah.
front of people to try to fit into groups. Like, dude, the worst thing for me ever when I was in high school, like, I was never like the popular kid. Like, I got picked on at times. But like towards the end of my high school career, like I was friends with the people that I wanted to be friends with, or I thought that I wanted to be friends with, right?
Yeah.
Because it was like, that's the group that you want to be involved with. That's the cool kids in school. And like none of those kids treated me right, bro. Like, my house was the house you could go and smoke weed at. So like kids would be like, oh, let's go to Logan's house to go get high. And it's like, that's all I'm good for, is
Yeah.
just to get you guys high, you know? And like, it took me a long time to realize, I was like, bro, everyone I'm surrounding myself with aren't my friends. You know, they're just acquaintances. And they're just these little like bubbles in my life that have like conformity. The word conformity is the best way I can describe this. We go to school and we feel like we have to do this or dress this way to fit into this crowd, right? And it's like that's the worst thing for human intellect, because you don't have the opportunity to develop your own opinions and develop your own person, right? Like if I could have been who I wanted to in school, I would have been tattooed. I would have been wearing skinny jeans. I would have been wearing my Vans. But like I wore a pair of blue skinny jeans to school and people were like, oh, you're like blah, blah, blah. It's like what, why does what I wear have any involvement with you? Right.
Yeah. That's
So
just a part of growing up at this point, right?
yeah, bro, it sucks,
Right.
but high school does that.
Yeah.
A lot of famous people like say a pretty similar story when it comes to like that, sort of like things that you touched on and said that. So when you become famous one day and you're gonna say that, I'm gonna remember this podcast and be like, yeah, I remember he was telling me that like 5 years ago.
We back with it.
I wonder who that woman is who gets the luxury of saying recording in progress.
Yeah. I mean, I feel like she got paid the bag.
Yeah.
Oh, she's getting every time that shit plays, she's getting a royalty. She's getting that's a check for life right there.
Like an ass cap in here, bro.
Yes, bro. Collect your royalties.
Collect your royalties. You know what? That is a great segue.
Bro, hold on.
Out of everything.
Yes, 100%.
That is a great segue to talk about for an independent artist and then going into that. All that.
Yeah, no, I'll touch on this real quick. If you guys have music on any platforms, specifically YouTube, right? And they're not posted on your page, you cannot physically collect your mechanicals right off of that. So what you need to do is you get a BMI or you get an ASCAP. And what this does, if you
ASCAP?
Yes.
Yeah, it's basically to collect your royalties. So
it's
like
a crazy name for collecting royalties, if you ask me.
It's not ass, it's AS cap.
Oh, my bad. Okay.
about 6 months ago, I finally went in and I registered all my songs through BMI. Like 3 months later, my mom's like back in Boston and she's like, yo, you have a check in the mail for $12,000.
Yep.
No shit.
So definitely collect your fucking royalties.
Collect your royalties. Collect, please.
I want to touch on, this is a good, sorry, am I interrupting you?
No, you're
Monty,
fine.
are you done? All right.
No, that was good. That was a great segue.
I think this is like a really interesting question. And I feel like a lot of like artists make this like an aspiring thing, but I feel like over time I've heard artists say, I want to get signed. I want to get signed. I want to get signed. Like that's kind of like the end goal for them in terms of like their career and money. You said you're unsigned, so
no, I'm signed.
Oh wait, so what did you said? I thought you said unsigned or something.
Nah, he's signed to We Are Triumphant.
Oh, okay. I'm brain farting.
But no, what he was talking about when he wasn't unsigned and wasn't on the label when he was dropping music. And and it was streaming, it was on YouTube. He was collecting his royalties from then now, because he went back and registered all of them. Anything he would drop under now would be under the label, so it's different than being independent.
Yeah, everything that I drop now, my label is owned by Greg Long, but our distribution goes through Sony Entertainment Music Group. So everything theoretically is through Sony.
Okay. My struggle with military acronyms, we've gone over this in the past podcasts, like anything military sucks. Medical with my sister, don't get me started. And then Dretta knows this, music, signing, labels, all that. I'm just not good with it. I'll learn it, but I'm just not good with it. But I want to know.
A lot, dude.
No. What is the difference between somebody who's like unsigned and then signed? Like, is it a major difference? Like, I've heard of artists staying unsigned on purpose. Like, walk me through this. Like, what is your opinion on that?
So basically, if any artist is listening, this is the first thing I will say about this. Stay independent for as long as you can. If you never have to sign a contract and you can make your money, you don't have anybody telling you what to do. There's no third parties. It's you, yourself, that's it, So you make a bag. But labels are good for some things. Like I signed to my label because of distribution. So like if I have a song that's dropping on Spotify, my label has like instant access to getting our songs on like the biggest Spotify playlist in your genre, right? So like top rock hits, new pop punk hits, like Spotify playlists that have 2 million followers or 2 million likes. And so it's good for some things. But if you're an artist that's already successful, right? Like say you get on TikTok. As we all know, TikTok is the most powerful app on the planet, right? It gives us so much push and engagement to new people every day that no other platform can do. So if you can become successful on that app and get it to translate to your Spotify or your Apple Music, you know, you can start your own fan base. You don't have to, you know, piggyback off the label or worry about the label's money. The one thing I will say, it's damn near impossible to get any music to do numbers without a budget, right? Like you have to have a marketing budget. And I think this is the one thing that anybody that's doing anything, even if you own a fucking cookie shop on Fifth Ave, right? Like if you don't market that business and you're not putting it in front of new eyes, how are you paying for your overhead? You know, how are you paying for your bills? You know, if there aren't new clients coming in and you don't have that marketing base figured out yet, there's no company. So my best advice to anybody, dude, like doing anything, if you want to make money, is game plan. And then anything you're doing is going to be 90% more marketing than the business. Like music is 90% business and 10% music, right?
Yep.
You could make the shittiest song in the world. As we all know, there's been countless artists that have come out and blown up, got on top, made millions of dollars, but the talent level is like, doesn't even like it fits there, you know?
Yep.
I hear you.
We don't have to name drop anybody, but
No.
it's the craziest thing.
How long were you unsigned before you signed?
Like 5 or 6 years.
5 or 6 years.
You wanna dive in? Actually, Ed, go ahead. Finish what you thought we're saying.
I was just thinking about that, and I guess my last question is being unsigned. It sounds like it's, at least from the outside looking in, riskier than being signed, like from an everyday basis. No, I'm not even
It really depends on your terms and allegations in your contract, right?
Yes.
You have 180 deals, you have 360 deals.
Yeah, like you sell your masters, like, you know what I mean? Like there's so many different things you could do as an artist to not fuck yourself over, and signing a 360 is the number one on that list to not do, basically.
Okay.
Especially for an up and coming artist who, you know, let's say it's Drake at like 12 years old, right? He makes like 2 fire ass songs and everyone's like, holy fuck, get signed to a 360 and a 10-year deal. What the fuck? How much money do you think the label makes off of Drake in 10 years till he's age 22, right?
Yeah.
And he's in a full 360. They get everything. They own it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like that's where a lot of issues with labels come up. It'd be like, oh, like the label's fucking me, like, oh, fuck my label, blah blah blah. It's because, bro, you signed the dot, brother. Like, look what you signed to.
That's the thing. A lot of people don't pay attention, or they don't have a lawyer look over. You know, like my contract went from 16 pages, bro. I had 16 pieces of paper that I had to look through, and I was like, nope. I signed a 3-page contract. It went from 16 pages to 3, all on my allegations. It's like I own my merch designs, right? Because like if I drop merch, that's gonna make me the biggest bag, and I can do all that myself. I can get it. I have a heat press. I do heat transfers, so I can make all my own merch. Why would I want anyone else to profit when I can sit there and do it at home? You know, it's just it's stupid.
True.
Yeah.
Yeah, I kind of wanted to get into more of the now where you're at, like the music you're making now.
For sure.
The festivals you've done. I want you to name everyone you've, like, biggest crowds. I want you to name who you've met in the scene, who's helped you out, all in the past like year and a half. I want you to name the whole, give me a journey, a little scope of the past year and a half of Monty Xon.
Okay. Well,
because your life changed, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
so there's a lot in there.
It was
I love Logan's response there. He was like, okay.
Yeah. He's like, holy shit, I gotta remember all
Yeah.
this.
Yeah, no,
Yeah.
this is like I really got to think about this. So if you want to go back like a year, around this time, um, I was kind of on a standstill like around this time last year, because my dad had passed away November 13th of last year, so like my whole world kind of came crashing down around that time. Um, and then I broke up with my girlfriend of 5 years, that I had lived with, right? So that was like, she was like all I knew. We break up. I come out here, uh, and like everything changed. Like I met Johnny Rago, who's one of my roommates. He manages Chase Atlantic. So many opportunities. I mean, like just introducing me to person after person after person that like are people that I've looked up to as a little kid, like Plain White Tees, right? He's right now doing this whole reincarnation with Plain White Tees of trying to make another Hey There Delilah, because that was their biggest song, and still to this day they don't have anything that big. So he's working on that, and I get to be there and I get to be a part of all that. And like Greg is constantly signing new artists. Like he just signed this guy Faceless at 1-7. He's about to hit 1 million monthly listeners, and when Greg signed him he had 90,000. So I'm surrounded by a bunch of people who like live, breathe, and fucking eat music, right? So it's the best opportunity for me. And every day I go to a party, or not every day I go to a party, but if I go to a party, you're surrounded by people at those events as well that like, you're standing next to Joe Schmo right here, but little do you know, Joe Schmo works for Columbia and like
Yeah.
is representing some of the biggest artists in the world. Like it's a
That's
very
cool.
it's surreal. But back to February. So I moved out to California February 5th. Funny story, I didn't know I was moving out here. I came out here, I had my first ever show in LA February 25th. And like I didn't know I was like gonna stay, but I fell in love. Like I fell in love with LA, where I was at, and I was like, this is home. This is now my home. So I got settled in. I moved in with my manager Greg in West Hills. And throughout that time, we just started this like little family at our house. You got all the boys, and we'd have parties at the house. We have a pool, we got a hot tub, so it's always like a fun time. We can do whatever we want. And then fast forward, we dropped some music. This past May, I went to So What in Texas, and I played the same stage as Simple Plan, Sum 41, Black Bear, Trippie Redd, Snot, like all these big artists that like, if I was still sitting in Boston, this is not a thing. I'd be like, no, why would I ever think I'm going to get to play on the same stage? Like it's just, that was it was like, you're fucking crazy if you think that type of shit. You know what I mean? So when it happened, it was just like, whoa. Like I'm living my fucking dream right now, bro.
Yeah.
Like literally, which is crazy. It's so crazy. I think about it all the time. And now fast forward, May, June, not much happened over those couple of months other than I will say I have played so many shows out here. So many shows. Like I got to play at the Whiskey A Go-Go, which was super sick. That's the venue that Motley Crue played their first ever show in LA and signed their first ever deal. So it was just like little things like that were just crazy. And
Bro,
now
wore my Motley Crue shirt, bro. Fuck.
I got a Motley Crue shirt in my
I got
back.
it, dude. It's upstairs, bro. I should have wore it.
But fast forward to now. We're in October. The past week I was supposed to go to Aftershock and I was supposed to play that, unfortunately.
So who was on the Aftershock lineup?
Metallica, Pantera, Muse, Stone Temple Pilots. Hold on, I'm gonna give you guys the actual list.
Give me the roster of who you're on stage, who's sharing the stage with you. Just for the people back home, so they understand the whole what's
so we
going
got
on here.
Bad Religion, Slipknot, Kiss, Lamb of God, Falling in Reverse, Chevelle, Motionless in White, Papa Roach, My Chemical Romance, A Day to Remember, Bring Me the Horizon. What else we got? Under Oath, The Distillers, Youngblood, Beartooth, Halsey. I could keep going.
Oh
Spirit Bomb. Like,
God.
there's so many big names on here.
Stars.
Yeah, like
Stars.
stars. These guys are making millions and millions and millions of dollars. It's crazy.
I love
You're
it. Man.
playing, and you're playing on the same stage as them.
That concert was this past weekend. Some things kind of fell through. We won't get into why.
Nah, you're good.
Because I don't think we're supposed to talk about that.
But you would have been.
Yes, no, but I would have been. And
Yeah.
like there'll be so many other opportunities.
Absolutely.
I'm
You already
playing
played one.
Avalon in Hollywood the 28th for emo night. So that's gonna be pretty cool. It's like fits like 3,300 people.
It's a
so that
lot
should
of
be-
motherfuckers.
That's a lot of
A lot of motherfuckers, bro. That's a lot.
That's
That's like, you know what
awesome.
I'm saying? When you go from the Middle East, there's like 50 of us in the crowd. And then it's like,
Bro,
yeah,
no,
I'm playing.
that show, Mello actually packed that out. Like
That was
he-
like 100 something. I
yeah,
think.
no, he did a good job. I mean, considering like
I'm just saying from perspective, you know what
yeah,
I'm saying?
sure.
Have you ever had your manager or somebody like ask them to pinch you?
Like be like you wake up type thing.
Yeah, like the
like
fuck up,
you're
bro.
dreaming.
I've never
I'm just
specific-
playing, bro. I'm just
no,
playing.
no,
I'm
no.
just playing.
I've never specifically said that, but yes, like along the lines of stuff like that. I'm like, bro, am I fucking dreaming right now? Like
Yeah.
punch me in my face.
That was a crazy lineup you just named.
Yeah.
Like crazy.
Yeah, it's California, bro. It's like it's just
Yeah.
it's the norm out here, I guess. I don't know. It's just how life is.
My favorite is it's just the beginning. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
Like,
no,
this is the
I'm
beginning of the
still, like,
story.
on floor
and
type thing.
It's just
Yeah.
amazing. Go ahead, Ed.
I was gonna. Aren't you, Monty? How old are you? Are you 23 or 24?
I'm
No,
22.
he's 20. Yeah.
Oh my god.
Yeah. Ed, do you feel old, bro? Or what?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's crazy. I'm still young. That's why I'm like, dude,
Dude.
I got time. Like, I got nothing but time. Like,
Nothing
Swaco,
but it.
you don't know, blew up on TikTok. The man's 27. I'm sitting
Yeah.
over here. I'm 22. So I just gotta grind, dude. And like, I can do it. You know, I believe that in time things will be what I want them to be. It's just, you know, you gotta stay focused. California is a very easy place to fall into the trap. People are very fake, a lot of drugs everywhere. You know, you just got to play your cards right. You just got to be super careful and super conscious of everything that's going on.
Would you say you have to surround yourself with the right people who have the same mindset of you think?
Yeah, but you also have to surround yourself with the wrong people.
Mm.
You have to play both cards here. And I don't mean like in a sense of go hang out with the kids that are doing drugs. I mean, you might fucking hate this kid, right? Like,
Now I know what you're saying.
like this kid's an egotistical asshole, but like if I put him as the headliner on my show, he just brought 300 people in and made me all this money. So like it's as horrible as it sounds, like you got to play the game out here, you know, like be
But
cool
with that being said, I'm sure you got your circle though. Like that's
Yeah, I do.
yeah.
Definitely have my circle.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Have a good group of friends that I feel pretty lucky to have met and gotten so close with in not even a year. I mean, some of the kids that I hang out with, I feel like I've known my whole life.
Mm.
Yeah.
So it's
That's awesome.
crazy.
That's awesome.
Yeah, I love that. Is there any moments that you've been out there that you've hit like a little low or a little strut?
Yeah, honestly, bro, we're going through it right now. But
Going
you know,
through right now?
we're going through it right now.
What's going on in the life of Monty Xon currently?
So
He can't get into it, bro. Or
Nah.
are you?
No,
I
I
don't know.
definitely
This
can.
is
I
this
definitely
is
can.
besides the festival. This is besides that.
Yeah, no, I definitely can get into this. So right now, my manager's like getting a new house. All my roommates are kind of like doing their own thing, and we're gonna be splitting apart. So like right now, we're just looking for new places, and I have options on the table of what I want to do. But I don't want to make the wrong move and move in with the wrong people. And I don't want to hate my friends. You know what I mean? Like it's a very, very different thing when you become a roommate with somebody and then you share a home, you share a kitchen, you share a bathroom, you know, like life changes. Your relationship is so different at that point. And I never want to be put in a situation where I'm like looking at my friends and I'm like, bro, I don't even want to be around you. You know, like
Yep. You're the second person to say that on this podcast, by the way.
really.
Yep.
I mean, it's a true thing. It's like you got to worry about like this motherfucker, is he gonna pay rent on time? Like, I don't want to worry about any of that, you know, like because if someone doesn't, like, say I put my name on something, right? And some person is like, oh, I can't pay you rent. And like I'm like I can't be expected to cover you. And if I don't, it fucks my credit. But like if someone does that to me, like I'm gonna want to hurt you. Like I'm not just gonna like, no, it's like I get angry and it's like, bro, you're fucking my credit, you know? So like I don't ever want to fight my friends. Like, so I don't want to put myself in a position to ever have that.
Yeah, there's a lot of people feel that same way though. Like some friends are your friends, like how it's always been, and you get a different side of things when you live with them. Or maybe it works out or maybe it doesn't. But that can also like hurt relationships, I guess, depending on like how well you gel when you literally live with somebody, right? So I mean, that's just my perspective of it.
No, you're 100% right. You hit the fucking nail on the head with that. I mean, it's definitely it's different, you know. I personally, me, I'd probably rather be by myself. But like an apartment isn't really realistic for me because you know I make most of my own music at home and like I do my own production, I mix, I master, I record. If I'm in an apartment, I'm just gonna have this fucking Karen next door. Bah, shut your fucking music off. It's like, bro, shut the fuck up, bitch. Like I'm about to make the next fucking some song of the summer. Like, fuck out of here.
That's hilarious.
Oh my
That's
god.
hilarious.
That's actually facts though. You'd be up to like 3 a.m. just like
Yeah, bro, you see me, I'd be on
yeah,
Facebook.
I know you.
Back home, we up till
I know
5
you.
a.m. writing a song on Discord together. Like,
Yeah.
That's awesome.
so
Yeah.
yeah.
Well, I mean, if that's the only thing you're worried about is your living situation, bro, then
Yeah.
I think you're in a good spot. And I'll say this to anybody listening who's in a similar spot, or you know, like you, Logan. I think a good advice is like you said, everything happens for a reason, bro. And whatever the case is gonna be, it's gonna work out. Like I don't say that in like a cliche way, but there's been a lot of people in my life who have been like, oh, I don't know if I want to live with this person or move here, do this, do that. Whatever decision they make, it ends up being fine for them, you know?
Right.
So you're going to find a way, bro. You're an ambitious kid.
Yeah.
Like you'll be straight. It's really not, in my opinion, the worst thing in the world to be stressing out about that. So
Yeah.
It's not. And like, I don't know. For me, I'm a planner. You know what I mean? I'm a realist. I like to know and exactly what is going to go on. So just when I don't have a plan, I get very scared. You know what I mean? Like the plan of attack is like,
so
oh, I guess I'm able to like function every day, wake up, schedule, you know, go eat breakfast, work out, go to the gym, get home, shower, make some songs. So like,
yeah,
I will say that is kind of funny coming from the kid who just went to LA and just never came back and didn't know he's gonna live there.
yeah,
But
sure.
I understand you. You know what I'm saying? Like I understand it 100%.
That's I think it's human instinct for anybody, like myself included. I don't think you can get it out of the human body of not or of liking change. I would say I don't think anybody really necessarily embraces like, yes, I get to move in with new people in a month. That's gonna be dope.
Yeah.
Or like, oh, I get to move to Cali, or I get a new job, dude. That's sick. Like I think it's just one of those things.
You gotta adjust.
Yeah, for sure. Adjustment is a big thing.
Yeah,
it really is, because you go through adjustments your whole entire life, and some people shy away from it, and some people take it head on.
We all handle adjustment in different ways. You know?
Absolutely,
I agree. I don't like. I mean, honestly, like not knowing what to do to what I'm doing, like a month from now, would stress me out too. Like to be completely transparent with you, like I'm the same way as you, bro. I like to know where I'm going to be at in a month. You know.
Yeah,
So
that's why I kind of laugh because like, bro, you literally made the biggest change in your life. You moved to LA. You're worried about going into a new apartment, bro. Are you kidding me? Look at you.
No, right?
Are you kidding
Yeah,
me?
I guess when you say it, you definitely like brought a little bit of peace back to me today. Like, yes, bro, I won't even lie to you. I had one of the worst and most stressful days
Mm.
in my 22 years yesterday. And like, again, like there's such when there's no drugs involved. Like I'm sober, bro. Like I'm sober. And like it's just I let my mind get the best of me sometimes. And I just, I gotta not do that.
What what would you say is something that helps you like during times like that when your mind's kind of scrambling, or is there someone you talk to that kind of calms you down? Is there something you do that calms you down? Like what how do you go about that type of stuff? Because you're probably stressed a lot of the times, especially I mean, dude, your line of work, bro, being an artist, it is extremely stressful at a
You
lot of
know what
points.
number one thing is that helps me?
What's up?
Sex. I will air that out right now. Like 100%. Like, like come on. One thing is just like
Yo, hold up. I need that shit clipped, sent to my phone, because I'm keeping that shit forever. Please explain to me how you're going. Please explain how any of that makes sense. Please. I really want to hear this.
well, I've been dating this girl Jenna for a little bit.
Okay.
So it's just sometimes females, like, it doesn't even have to be like a sexually, it doesn't have to be necessarily sex.
It's more like a romance thing.
are we breaking down the biological factors of females and males and how
females just keep your boy grounded. That's all.
There we go. That's what it was.
he was about to
There it
get
is.
into like
There it is.
like the freaking the
There it is.
biology of two
Yeah.
uniting
There you
as
go.
one.
Anyway,
No, that's really good, bro. When you have someone who's beside you and like you feel the same way a lot of times and keeps you grounded, that's so fucking important. So
I feel
important.
like there are things that women have and can give us emotionally that men can't.
Mm.
Like I can go and talk to my friends about whatever and be open and be in a very non-judgmental zone. But with a girl, you're getting like compassion. You're getting more than just like it will be okay.
Yeah.
It's much more than that. And like physical touch too. Like you can lay on someone's chest and you can just feelings.
That definitely no,
As stupid and corny as all this sounds.
You're not stupid or corny. Now we understand what you're saying, because when you first just said it, it was so blatant and hilarious. But now I understand. I totally get what you're saying. I feel the same way with that stuff.
I gotta give the viewers like a little piece of like how I act, because like Monty, I might seem like, I definitely don't have all my shit together by any means. Like I am still the goofy ass kid, but like just with a better head on my shoulders.
Yeah. Nah, dude, you're yourself. That's the best fucking version, right?
You gotta be you.
Hey, what are
awesome.
what is the tattoos on your hand? What are those? Can we get into the?
I'll give you a whole ass tattoo tour.
Let's just stick with. Yeah.
We got this
Okay.
is an unk. This means the love and bond that you share between a parent. So me and my mom both have matching tattoos. A dagger. Honestly, I got this because I've always wanted to be able to flip someone off with a dagger on my middle finger. So I thought it was cool. The smiley face is when you're sad. I'm always sad and happy at the same time, and that's what the X's are for. It's more like a representation of both, like happy and sad. And then the raindrops is like when it rains, it pours. Shit might seem bad now, but it's always gonna get better. And then I got a heart here to remind myself always to like show people the love that I want, and like you give out the respect. You give people the respect that you want to be given back to you. Shout out Grandma for instilling that into all of our heads at a very young age. Yeah, I mean, most of them have meaning. Some of the other ones, like on my arms and shit, like no meaning at all. But
Mhm.
There's
I don't
a
know, tattoos are cool. They look cool
yeah.
I like that.
for sure. No, what about you, Eddie? What you got any tattoos yet?
No, Jenna always tells me that I need tattoos, and I'm bald, and guys with tattoos who are bald are supposedly cooler,
Yes.
aka like Joe Rogan
Yes.
and like a bunch of other people. So I think I'll get to that point. I just want to have a tattoo that has meaning. I don't want to just ink something for the first tattoo and just call it a day. So whatever that is, whenever I have that epiphany in my head of saying like, "Yo, I want this," then I'll get it. But right now, I'm non-tattooed.
Yeah, Ed would look fucking
Hey, nah,
sick with that.
don't rush it. Don't rush it. Wait till you
Yeah.
know what you want for sure.
100%.
My arm looks like a high schooler's desk.
No, that's a quote, bro. That's such a quote.
Yeah, we got like 10 quotes from this pod right now.
Oh,
Like,
that's so funny.
that, bro, I can't wait to clip this shit.
Ed,
No,
don't
I have no
rush it.
bullshit.
Ed, don't rush it. My arm looks like a high school desk. That's awesome, bro.
That's fucking awesome.
Hey, well,
Uh,
it's you probably rock with it, so that's all that matters, brother.
Oh yeah, no, I had to get the tattoos because like me making the music that I make, like I can't
Yeah,
get
you
up
have
on a
to.
stage without the tattoos. You just look stupid as hell.
yeah, you
It's like a
kinda,
uniform, bro, in sports, right? Part of it, maybe.
No,
basically, yeah.
100%. You're
Yeah.
Moik got it. Your answer was perfect.
Yeah, it was fucking perfect. You just can't be looking like the Alaskan bullworm from SpongeBob, dude, when he pops out the hole. You know
I know,
what I'm saying?
dude. I took out my septum.
You
I had
did.
all three sides of my nose pierced. I had my septum. I had this side, but this side I still have this.
Yeah.
No.
Dude, you're an open book, bro.
Wait till
Let's
we
just
do
leave
the
it
neck.
at that.
The
Open
neck's
book,
coming
brother.
soon. I'm gonna do the whole neck.
No, that's gonna be fucking crazy.
It's gonna hurt like a bitch.
Yeah, you should. Yeah. Yeah.
But some real shit, hon. We've been talking a lot about me. I just want to hear one thing. What are you guys having planned for the podcast in the next upcoming months?
This is cool because this is the first time a guest has ever asked us a question. This is a breakthrough,
Yeah.
and
Wow.
this is an absolute breakthrough.
That's the thing. You know, you guys were always asking the questions, but like I gotta put one in there real quick.
This is an absolute breakthrough, Ed.
I mean, we started this thing with hopes of like talking to you, bro, like catching up. I haven't seen you in mad long. You know, you and Dretta talk, but for me in this podcast, like the whole basis of it was to like have people on that have really cool stories and also like link up with the homies and friends that we haven't seen in a while. And like, you know, put it on camera and on a mic and like let's just kick back and talk life. And I think we talked a lot of life here, like that was really good. Like I obviously knew you from when we knew each other back in the day, but I didn't know half the stuff that you told me today. So like now I get the pleasure of going on and now I'm, you know, I know what Monty's story is. Like, you know what I mean?
It definitely brings peace to me too, because like someone where like, you know, I didn't know you well in high school, but like I looked up to you from a distance, right? Like you were a role model to all the younger baseball players or any athlete, football player too. Like you were definitely a role model to a lot of younger kids. And like it's very crazy to see how people like I got treated very differently in high school, but people didn't know my background or like why I was the way that I was, what my home life was. So for someone like you to like you now have a little bit of a glimpse and you can like kind of see through the window, it's pretty cool, you know?
Yeah. Like I want people to know the real Monty. So that way there's a connection there and like people hear your music but also know like your story. And you know, I think that's sort of our podcast basis and Dretta can answer this too a little bit, but in the future, like me and Dretta don't sit down with a pen and paper and write who we want to have on here. You know, we kind of just have a conversation and say like, you know what, we should hit up this person or go from here, go from there. I think as we go on, we're gonna start expanding the network of like our friends because right now we're kind of in a spot where we've just like, you know, shot a text to like people like you saying like, yo, hop on. But I think I want there to be a point where, you know, we can send an email out to this person agent and be like, yo, you know, we've had this person on, you know, we've had Monty on. We'd love to have this artist come on, you know, and get to meet new people too. So I think that's kind of where we're at. But I know that was a long answer, my bad, but
No, long answers are great.
yeah.
I think you guys should start clipping up parts of the you guys on TikTok right now?
Yeah.
Are you heavy on TikTok?
We're like
Dred
once a
is
week
the
on
TikTok guy.
Well, that is how you're gonna blow this up.
Oh, I know. Oh, I know.
Dred is gonna
I'm
get
There's,
on
glad.
that.
there's
shit.
there's a lot of people out there. I mean, like even just in Middleborough, bro. Like I saw you guys did you did the interview with Logan Drevich's brother.
Yeah.
Yep,
Um,
Drevy.
yeah, dude, that's like there's so many people like that around that like have this story to talk about.
Yeah,
I feel like a lot of people in high school, like, because I feel like a lot of people that watch this are like the people that y'all went to school with or we went to school with, right?
Mhm.
So they never understood like some of these people, or it gives them a chance to like be like, oh, maybe this is why this person is the way that they are, or like it's just insight. And I think that that's like
Yeah.
one of the beautiful things in life, bro, is giving
Yeah.
somebody insight to anything.
you gave people the full perspective.
Yeah.
For sure.
Of Monty Xon, the full perspective.
There it is.
That's
For sure.
beautiful, bro. And thank you for asking a question to us, dude. That's the first time we've ever had someone ask a question to
Dude,
us.
of course. I mean,
That wasn't like related to
I'm
something we
excited
were
to see what-
talking about, you know?
yeah,
It
no,
was just
I'm
straight.
excited to see what y'all do.
Thank you, bro.
You got two people here, running a podcast that are motivated and driven. Y'all are both smart as hell. You know what
Shut
you're doing.
up.
Like, it's it can be a beautiful thing, depending on how you just ride it until the wheels fall off, basically.
Very
type shit.
sure. It's all about conversation.
Yeah, no doubt.
Yeah, I guess that's where we'll leave it off, dude.
Bada
That's
bing,
great.
bada boom.
Yeah, wait. Before we get off, bro. Monty, I love you. Logan, I love you.
I love you too, bro.
Where can the people who's listening to this podcast, where can we find your music? Where can we follow you on your socials?
Yeah, do your spiel.
When are you dropping a new song? What's going on? Give me a little insight on that.
All right,
And then
so-
we'll close this thing up.
Y'all can look me up on it. Literally anything in the world. Just type in Monty Xon, MONTY space XON. I will be everywhere. Will be the first thing that pops up on Instagram, Spotify, Apple Music, whatever the fuck you listen to music on. New music's probably gonna be dropping November, but that's gonna be the last song y'all get from me of the year. And then next year we're dropping an album at the end of the year, and we're gonna release everything as singles, and we're gonna have this big rollout. Yeah, the music industry kind of shuts down in December. There's nobody's in their offices, so dropping music isn't a thing. But yeah, new music very soon. I promise.
I love it.
Mic drop.
Love it.